Good afternoon, educators.
Good afternoon, folks. Okay, you've seen the drill before, so here we go again. Before we talk about some big issues, can you start by telling us about yourself and why you want to be governor?
Sure. So, hey, it's great to be here, everybody. I feel like I am among my people. I am a former Baltimore City public school teacher. Baltimore Teachers Union member. And look, I was teaching 6th grade language arts and social studies at Booker T. Washington Middle School on the west side of Baltimore. I fell in love with the math teacher across the hall. 23 years later, she is still an educator in Baltimore City Public Schools. We are the parents of 15, 12, and 10-year-olds who are public school children in Baltimore City Public Schools. Our youngest two in the Zone Elementary, where my wife teaches, the oldest one at Baltimore Polytechnic High School. So look, I'm one of you. People don't know what it's like to really be an educator unless you've been one. If people talk to you like you're doing glorified volunteer work, you're just like me. If you feel like you're working in work conditions that just don't respect the profession, you're just like me. If you feel like Maryland isn't going to have the kind of future it needs until it really invests in its teachers and its other education professionals, without that, you're just like me. Now, a lot's happened, Betty, since I was a teacher. I went on and I started a nonprofit. I ran technology policy for Barack Obama's first presidential campaign. Some of you might still remember and like Barack Obama. I ran tech policy for that first presidential campaign of his. That went pretty well. So I then had the blessing of serving in his administration, including 4 years working for Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And I'm running, Betty, because a lot of people come up here and say they're going to be the education governor, but Maryland has never really had an education governor. Maryland has never had a governor who, when you ask that person, what do you care about? Thing number one or thing number two is education. I am a Baltimore City public school teacher, Baltimore Teachers Union member, who is now running for governor. And I'm running because with the Kerwin Commission, we have a once every 15-year opportunity to reset education policy, education funding. Talent is everywhere, opportunity is not. That needs to change. That's why I'm running for governor.
Thank you. Okay, question number 2. What is your vision for public education, and how will you prioritize your education initiatives in light of the work of the Kerwin Commission and their expected recommendations later this year?
So my vision for public education is that every public school student in every zip code has access to a world-class education. A lot of people, Larry Hogan right now thinks that the only way to get there is he's given up on public schools. He has. He's given up on you. He's given up on public schools. He believes in taking taxpayers' dollars, putting it into voucher programs, and believes in getting around our community schools, like the one where my wife teaches and like the one where my children attend, by just saying, let's create a whole separate architecture of public education with charter schools. So my vision for education is that all of our public schools are places where people would go into a lottery to compete to get into. And with the Kerwin Commission, I think we have, again, a once every 15-year opportunity to reset equity in education. And what that is going to mean, that's going to mean additional resources. Anybody who tries to talk to you about we're going to improve education, and they are not willing to come out and say, yes, we need to put our money behind this, is somebody who's not shooting straight with you. And this is not just about Baltimore City and Prince George's County, though they both need additional resources. People also forget about Somerset County. They forget about Cecil County. They forget about Charles County. They forget about Dorchester County. They forget about St. Mary's County. And so this opportunity to achieve equity in education, I think, can benefit all 24 jurisdictions in the state. And a lot of it comes down to, in my opinion, and again, this hits close to home. It doesn't hit close to home, it hits in home. Since I'm still married to a public school teacher and since I was a public school teacher, a lot of this comes down to acknowledging the profession of educators as a profession. That means, like, for a lot of my friends, the only way, once they start having kids and kids start looking to go to college, they have a choice, which is the only way they can stay in education and make more money is if they go into administration. And they don't all want to go into administration. And so my friends will say, I can make $60,000 a year teaching, or I can make substantially more being an administrator. I want to keep teaching, but I also now need to pay for college. I also now need to contribute more to my health care plan. I also now have aging parents that I need to contribute to. So the single biggest priority for me, from a financial standpoint coming out of the Kirwan Commission, would be to create opportunities for pay increases for teachers that do not require them to go into administration, which value their expertise and which value their experience as appropriate.
Very nice. Thank you. So now we have time left. This is where you get to get in the fishbowl. So if you draw a question and hand it to me, I will read it.
All right.
And you can respond. Personally or professionally, what is your proudest accomplishment?
Personally or professionally, what's your proudest accomplishment? All right. I will do professionally first. Professionally, my proudest accomplishment was running technology policy for Barack Obama's first presidential campaign. When I got into that campaign, people said, Alec, a black guy named Barack Hussein Obama will never be president. And you and your little technology friends, you think technology has anything to do with elections? And we created a revolution that's still going in terms of how people conduct political campaigns. My team, our team on Barack Obama's presidential campaign. So that's the thing that I'm most proud of professionally. The thing that I'm most proud of personally, and I can't say me, I have to say we, it's my wife and I, it's our 3 kids. You know, I wrote a book that came out last year, and I'm able to run for governor in part because the book did real well. It became a New York Times bestseller. And the last chapter of the book is called The Most Important Job You'll Ever Have. And I argue that the most important job you'll ever have is being a parent or being a teacher. Developing the career of a young person. So developing the life of a young person. So the thing I'm most proud of personally is God bless, and every day brings new set of challenges. But as of today, August 20th, 2017, my 15-year-old son, my 12-year-old daughter, who's the head of household, and my 10-year-old son are wonderful, happy, healthy, well-educated kids.
Okay. And we still have some time, so we get to do another one.
All right, giddy up.
Thank you. What education idea isn't discussed very often that you wish was talked about more?
So it's a lot of it for me comes down to counselors. I think so look, I'm a teacher, but as a teacher, I recognize the invaluable role that our certified paraprofessionals and our counselors played. And I don't understand why we don't talk. And when I say defunding, one of the first things that always seems to get cut are the counselors. And a counselor plays an indispensable role in a school. And when you've got hundreds of kids per counselor, all the counselor can do is crisis management. They can't actually do proactive counseling. So the one thing that I would like for us to see also, in addition to the role of educators more broadly, is I think we've got to elevate an understanding and respect for the role of our counselors.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.